Okay, so let's open the Conservation Commission meeting of June 14th at 7:10. We are audio and video recorded. First up on our agenda, we have 25 Myrtle Street.
Hi, Rebecca. I live at 25 Myrtle Street. So basically, we received the letter after we had already put up the fence, and we obviously had no idea about any of this. And we spoke to you a few times. You mentioned just write a letter explaining why we put up the fence, which I did. And then, it's been difficult to attend the meetings. As you can see, my husband works nights. So now here, because we received another letter saying just to come and explain everything. Yeah, I have a small child and a dog, and that's why we put up the fence, just to protect them from, it's heavily wooded in our backyard. So that's
What
it.
kind of fence did you put up? Wooden, chain link?
It's cedar all around the back, and then the front facing the street is vinyl.
Janet, what are we looking at here?
Well, I think it's just more of, because I think originally people were concerned that I don't even remember now if they're in the 0 to 50 foot. But here I'd made a copy of the order conditions for the new homeowners so they can be aware of that. And I see you. No, you don't. That's my copy, sweetheart.
I think that was most of it, is that
So within the
the
50-foot
builder
buffer.
should have passed down what the orders of conditions were, because you're in the wetlands area, and what had to take place, and because he did it in the fall, the grass wasn't gonna be up and running until the spring, and so then with the fence up, it's like, we can't just look in. So it was just minor details, but things that, just to get clarified between you and the town.
And we are actually, starting tomorrow, we're putting in grass. It's getting hydro-seeded, and loam is being,
In the fenced
yes,
area.
just the fenced area. And we're also putting in an irrigation system. Is that okay?
You'd have to check with the town on that.
Yeah, you gotta check with the town, because is the irrigation system gonna be, well, it's not up to us, but it's connected to well or to connected
Yeah.
to house water?
It's a well.
You still have to get it tested, but that's more to health.
What, getting the well tested? Well, it just was tested when we moved in,
Just so they
but
Yeah,
So is the
copy of the plan.
not in the right spot, or is the fence?
There was originally with, for us, it was just the center.
hi, baby.
Right.
So, and then
And then the fence came in, it went into the buffer zone,
How far in the buffer?
that's
the park. All the green area?
red.
The red is all in the buffer?
The red is where the fence is.
Right, so
This
Oh,
over
so we've
here-
got this
Yeah,
buffer.
this is in the 0 to 50, I think. And I think the 100 foot.
100-foot would
where the
prevent a fence
septic-
entirely.
And 0 to 50. Here's the fence down here, and that's the 0 to
Right.
50. So this is the fence here.
All right, here's my issue with this, is that if we allow this to be a mistake, that information should have been passed on from the builder, we are opening ourselves up to flood, especially considering all the new buildings.
We'll set a precedent
You're
against.
setting a precedent, we are gonna open ourselves up to a flood of, oops, sorry, and it's gonna turn into what I lived with in Braintree for 17 years. Anybody's thoughts?
well, you're really not supposed to be in the buffer zone with any structures, fencing.
Well, nobody ever came and said, we're gonna be doing this, because you've got the wetland and there's also buffer zone, and any work proposed in there's, you've gotta check, is it gonna have an impact or whatever, or even locally, that 0 to 50 feet from that wetland you try to stay out of. That back part of the fence is in that area. The rest of the fence is in that 50 to 100, so that wasn't part of the work that they said they were gonna do underneath the permit.
Right. which, you know, we didn't pull that
I mean,
permit.
by right,
That wasn't,
I mean, I know you checked with the town for the permit, but you should have, it should have came to the Conservation Commission because you were in the buffer zone about the fence. And to be honest with you, it probably wouldn't have passed.
I mean, like I said, I'm not one to break rules. I
Oh,
would
no, we
have done
understand that.
all
I
of
mean,
that had I known. I
Right,
mean, we didn't even know
What
that
it comes down to, do we give forgiveness or do we
we
have
were
you
on our
remove it?
property. We were like,
Right, and
had no idea that it had to do with anybody else besides us in our house. You know what I mean?
right, I understand the thinking,
Yeah.
but it's incorrect.
It's against town bylaws.
Right, and
So I mean, what at this point, what do we do? Because we spent $10,000 putting up that fence.
I understand.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, the regs are the regs are the regs is my point of view.
If we allow you, then
So
It opens up
are
a
you
flood of-
suggesting that we take the fence down, we move the fence?
it might be a condition. It could be, I mean, it's against town bylaws, and again, if we allow this to stand, it will set a precedent that we will go against town bylaws.
Yeah. So I mean, who's gonna pay for that?
Well, the homeowner incurs the cost.
It's just a very
all
expensive
in buffers.
learning
Yeah.
mistake.
Boo-boo.
I mean, we're gonna take the fence down.
Well,
We're
I
not
don't think
gonna-
You're gonna have a choice.
We're not gonna stay there then, because I live on a main road.
Right,
I'm not gonna
I
have a
understand.
fenced-in yard with a dog and a baby.
I understand. I entirely
Yeah.
understand.
See, how big is their whole property?
When an owner buys a property, it's their responsibility to do the due diligence. When you got your title search done, the order of conditions is on record.
So if it would have been approved, why can't I just go back and,
Well, I don't know that it would have been approved.
It probably
But-
wouldn't have been, actually, if you came to the town and said, I want to build a fence, and you gave us this layout,
Yeah.
it would have been
That
denied.
would never have been
It
approved.
would have been denied.
okay, so would
I mean, if you
different,
adjusted the fence around that 50-foot buffer zone,
yeah.
we would have looked at it, it would have been better.
It would be a discussion.
It would be a discussion because within the 50 to 100-foot buffer zone, depending on disturbance, what kind of disturbance would it can, it might have passed.
And now you're looking to not only have the fence, but you're hydro seeding and putting loom all
Within the
inside that
50-foot buffer zone, which is not
It's a
supposed to.
no-touch zone. But, yes, the builder.
So you don't
it-
want grass there, is what you're saying?
Correct.
Because
And it
when I
might be
spoke
true
to her,
that the
she
builder
wanted
didn't
grass.
say, here's what this means, but when you closed on the house, you could have had an attorney represent you solely, your
Making
mortgage
like
company
you said.
had a title search,
I'm
you
kinda
had
doing
the
this,
information.
this,
If there's anything in the
this.
packet that you don't understand at
Sure.
any point in time, especially during a legal
Somewhere
proceeding, you
over
should
here.
absolutely ask, it was
My name
there.
comes out the side of the house. Maybe.
But I understand, I mean, I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I
This
get
is
it, I
still-
understand. We have 100 acres of wetlands
This is
behind,
still
I
part
get it.
of their lot. Could
But
they
my hands are tied, in my opinion,
have
unless
a way or
someone's got
something?
another opinion that,
I don't, I mean, I don't.
Right here.
Because we'll, like I said, we'll
Down
set
here.
a precedent and we'll
Can they
open
do this
ourselves up
right here
for
as
a
well?
lot of people coming and saying, well, you did it for them, why can't you break town bylaws for me?
This is still part of their property.
We're here to enforce
what
the
the
town
wetland is.
bylaws, no matter if we agree with them or not. We're sworn to uphold the town bylaws,
They keep the
and the
fence
town bylaws in Norfolk say,
Just basically
no,
right
no
up to the
building or
stone.
no disturbance within the
Say this
50-foot buffer
section
zone.
back here goes into conservation restriction, where it's still part of
So
the
the 50 foot
property.
is the only point of
That's what
contention
they-
on this,
I mean, you can move the fence.
basically.
What's that?
I'm just asking the question. The 50-foot buffer zone is the point of contention on this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
yes, I mean, the front is vinyl.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's
and the
it.
back is
That
steel.
green area is the only point of
I
contention.
would- In my opinion, yes,
Yes, what?
that the 50-foot
That's the
buffer
only
zone is
contention.
what we're looking at.
That's it. The rest of the fence is fine. It's everything within the green area. I mean, so if they adjusted that fence around that 50-foot zone, I think it would
So, to show you
pass
what the-
muster.
you understand what we're discussing. and this is-
The one thing Jan and I were just going over, looking at everything, is how their property goes towards the conservation area.
There's the wetland in the back.
They have a big piece of lot down here,
Behind the stone
and
wall.
it go behind the stone wall, and if we say that goes into conservation,
restrictions where they can't have something legally done up where they can't mess with, because that's where the wetland is. Or you have, you know, the option, I know it's tricky, because see, the wetland's way down here. And that fence was supposed to be further up, but, no, there wasn't even a fence to
No.
begin with.
No.
No, there's no fence, they put the fence up.
So they could just say, move that fence up.
Right, well, that's what we're talking about right now.
Yep.
But there's nothing that says that they can't have a fence within 50 to 100, correct?
Normally the zero fence, when you're trying to keep them out.
But 50 to 100.
50 to 100, that's where you're trying to make up for disturbance or whatever. Where they haven't-
But their whole lot's within the 100.
Right.
So
But
they're kinda-
originally, the erosion control was here.
Right, so they should,
All this
right.
is beyond erosion.
So they should absolutely be inside that erosion control line.
Well, they could probably bend it out here a little bit.
But if they,
Maybe they could
if-
come up
Yeah, if you
here.
squared it off.
Yeah.
just move it up to 10, 20 feet, whatever it is. So.
And they would have to submit a plan with that, come back to us, and then we can okay it.
Wherever it works for that. I don't want to
But that would be the thing to do?
Yeah.
But if they just, and it'll still square it off.
They lose a little yard, I mean, they don't have to put a big stockade there, but they already spent the money.
It's in there, it's still there.
I know.
I know, I just get aggravated.
Okay, trust me, I got an acre, Al can use 40% of it.
You can use whatever, I have woods, I love my
Well, I have
woods.
conservation land.
Don't mess with my wood. Where did he go?
Huh? Well, she's coming back, she left her baby carriage.
Yeah, no, she's just chasing.
Oh.
You're good.
All right, Landon, I'm gonna have to go get the duct tape.
This needs to have a new plan come back before us.
I would imagine.
Yeah. So what we're looking at is, I think Tom's got it over there for you, but nothing within that 50-foot, preferably nothing within where the erosion control boundaries were. However, if you wanted to bring something back to us that left you with a squared off yard rather than a jagged yard,
Yeah.
absolutely, we would take a look at that.
And so I don't want to spend any more money tomorrow. We're supposed to be getting everything hydro-seeded. You don't want grass?
Well, you can't have anything within
No,
that.
if they're gonna hydro seed, you better have them stop at a certain point.
Yeah,
That
you
certain
can't
point
have
would be
anything within that
that
zero.
half circle right
Which is, I'm pretty sure, I can tell with
there. You probably need to, is this still flagged?
I don't know if is it still flagged? Probably not.
with like the,
The little rods on the ground,
yeah,
little markers.
yeah.
For the erosion
Well, they
control?
can't go beyond, the hydro seeding shouldn't go beyond those flaggings where the, can you still see the line with the erosion control was?
That would be within the fence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Run, Mama, run! Oh, look at him.
If it helps, if it were me, I would just put it on hold because the last thing that I would want to happen for you is to have.
Have them come up, have them
What does
clear
that
that.
would do if you want.
You wanna put them up in the king chair?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a problem. The last thing I would want to have happen is for you to then have it hydro seeded
And then have to rip it up.
and then have to rip that up as well, and then.
It's actually kind of bad to hydro seed at this time anyway.
Well, they're trying to.
Wanna put them up here?
We just want some grass.
Yeah.
Oh, we understand
You
that.
do what you gotta do, I get it. If it were me to try and mitigate the damages thus far,
Yeah.
I would just put everything on hold, come back with, okay,
We're gonna move the
we're
fence.
gonna move the fence to here is what we're proposing.
Yeah.
Does this work? And then. move
I'm just
forward.
curious, like what is the consequences if we didn't move the fence?
I mean, a lot of things.
Well, the town could take litigation.
Fines.
Landon,
litigation. It's just not worth it. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, so,
And
I mean,
and I can't say, if you do this, then this is gonna happen, because
Yeah.
I don't have that answer. But if you do what you're proposing, something will happen. I just can't tell you what. So-
that hasn't been determined, but there will be some consequences.
And I get it, I understand your position, like I said, I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, we are butt conservation.
Landon.
I get it.
If all the erosion controls are there and they hydroseed on to the side of the house,
Bills left or anything like that?
Yeah, they're all still there.
but there's a risk.
But that's where we put our fence up. That's what I don't understand, is we put our fence up where the hay things were.
Not
I
according
think we're
to,
talking about two different things.
They
Yeah,
hate-
because there's a lot.
Janet, could you make a visit?
On the property.
could you make a visit there and scope out where the flags were and where their fence is, and maybe mark out the area so they know exactly what needs to be done?
And the only reason why I doubt that we're speaking about the same line is because I don't think you would have a barrier and then put a fence beyond that barrier and have a barrier in the middle of your route. That wouldn't make any. Or maybe.
This is on the stone wall.
Maybe you would.
So this is where the fence is, in the back of our house.
Right
There's
up against the
septic.
stone wall.
No, it's on the inside of the stone wall.
Right.
There's a hill right there, a giant hill, so, if we were to move the fence, it would be up like 4 feet above ground. It would be ridiculous.
Where?
There's I don't know when was the last time you were there, but.
If you go
since
out the
they
back of the house.
Septic,
If you go out the back of the house.
Yep.
Okay, your septic's over there,
my septic's to the left.
correct.
Right here. This is your erosion control, which is these dotted lines right here, okay? It looks like they've been moved.
Right.
They're broken right there.
Well-
Looks like they should have continued right over there. What we're trying to
That's
say is
been moved
you'd
by
like the
911.
fence, I mean, you could put the fence right up here behind these couple of trees as the hill starts to go down.
We don't know what lines those are right now. I mean, right now, they're
Yeah,
just,
I think this would have to be reflagged, find out exactly what.
it would definitely
they
need to
gotta
be
do.
resurveyed.
I wouldn't hydroseed anything down where the trees are.
No, we weren't gonna.
That's in the wetlands.
Right, well, you definitely can't do that, but you can't do the
Is
0 to
drop of
50
hill
either.
out of the wetlands?
What, I don't know what here we're talking about. They had the stone wall and then it
My only
dropped down
problem
in
is
the
with
back.
that, we just can't,
That
just
part,
can't
that part of
tell.
the 50-foot?
The house is up over here.
And I
Yeah,
don't-
the house is up over here.
I,
'Cause that's the side, that's the side next to the house with the white vinyl
Patrick, my
fence.
only issue is that I just don't want to tell Rebecca that she can do something and then we look at
I
it
think
and
I
that's,
think we need to go back up and reflag it.
Yeah, this is the hill going up towards the house.
Yeah.
You know, I say
Exactly.
hypothetically that fence might be up here
I
or
definitely
something.
think it needs to be
That just
reflagged and then a new
It
fence.
needs to be reflagged, and I think
and
they
a
I
new
think they need
fence
a
line
guide where that
proposed.
fence might have to be moved up.
Right, yeah. So I would put everything,
Or they could probably just measure from the back of the house to the stone wall, because it should be on the plan so many feet. The house or the stone wall didn't move.
right. Someone needs to measure it.
So, yeah, just to figure out where,
Right, and then come back with a proposal of where you would like the fence to go. I mean, you can even take this, if you'd like, and use this and show us where you'd like the fence to go. That,
I mean, I don't really care where the fence goes. Tell me.
right.
This is like ridiculous.
It needs to be not in the 0 to 50 buffer zone.
Yeah. I mean, we'll work with you. We did say, we can't do it all for you. I mean, so, I mean, if your husband home during the day?
He works Wednesdays at night, Monday through Friday. Or Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Thursday.
Because maybe he can come in and get with Janet in the office and work with her?
or I could run over to the house with him. You know, I got a 200 thick foot tape measure and just to give him a,
Give him a guide of where that fence might go?
Yeah.
if I can just, Michelle, I'm sorry, let me just,
Absolutely.
I know, so, no, just so you guys there.
So you had one in your car.
Yep.
So, this is me with the red, just all parking basically what they're asking is, however, somehow.
Yep, July 12th.
Move the fence, if you can, because if this is a line, however you can do this, just to say move that fence, this is still, it's this area here basically, this 50
I'm
foot.
just curious, what is the fence doing to the wetlands?
It's under the town bylaw with the 0 to 50 foot.
There's no disturbance at all within that.
It's trying to keep people out of that area.
Yeah, so anything with digging the fence, the equipment to get the fence put in there, the loom, hydro seed, that
our property on our house?
Why is it considered what?
Our property.
Oh, because you own
You
the
can-
property,
Because you own the property,
But
but
if we own that property, why can't we build on it?
because the water
because
laws,
you bought property with restrictions on it.
EPA. Believe me, I have an acre of land, I'd like to use 40% of it.
Yeah.
It's
And
like, I
so
have a car
what
that goes
I'm,
120,
When it goes down beneath a certain level and you're near water, any kind of waterway, there's invasive plantings and water filtration,
and you should
natural water
have a copy
filtration.
of that in the title search from when you
Exactly.
purchased the property. And you can always request, I'm not sure who did your closing, but you can always request a full copy of your title search so you can see exactly, and you may want to do that, so that you can see exactly what went on with the builder
Yeah.
and all of the restrictions, because I'm sure this is not going to be
It's an older
only-
house, it's an older house too.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
These are still going to be on record. And the title search goes back either 20 or 40 years, depending on. So you'll be able to see what went on with the builder and what restrictions the builder had, but he didn't necessarily have to. He didn't have to tell you
Yeah.
that you had the report. So what I'm suggesting is take a look, work with Janet, and come back on
We can put you on the July 12th meeting.
July 12th meeting for a proposed where the fence you would like it to be in relation to the buffer and the wetlands and all of that. So like I said, even if you just want to take this, that's fine too. And show us, I want to square it off, I want to make a rectangle, I want to make a trapezoid, I don't really care, just give me something so that we can then
Make a ruling.
make a ruling on it.
Okay.
And I gave you a copy of the order of conditions.
Yep.
That's just FYI, because that was what was issued to the builder for doing the work there.
Yeah, he did the work for the disturbance in the 50 to 100 zone for the septic, which there was no fence included within the 50-foot buffer zone, which would have
Yeah.
been denied to begin with. So,
I
I
definitely,
mean, he didn't pull permits for any of the work he did.
I would definitely request your title search from when you bought the house.
yeah.
Definitely request that. So if I can have a motion about 25.
Make a motion to continue the order of conditions amendment, no? Oh, we have to amend those order of conditions, wouldn't we, when she comes back with a new plan?
Well, let's first let her come back, see what they're gonna figure out, what they're gonna do or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just need a motion to continue it
I'll
to,
make a motion to continue the discussion on 25 Myrtle Street to July 12th at 7 o'clock.
7.
Seven,
July
oh-
12th, the problem?
it's the second Wednesday of the month.
Yeah, we do Wednesdays, so.
If it is, we can move it.
Okay.
Let's just get you on there, and then if you need to move it,
We need to move it to
just
August.
call us and we can move it. That's not a problem. We'll move it.
Time-wise or date-wise?
Oh, time it, well, we can always go to
Whatever.
August, but we can move later
And
in
if
the
she
evening.
gets back to us
that's a
tomorrow,
problem.
I mean, we can move the time, we can move the, it doesn't really matter. We'll work with it.
Work as best as with you if we can, but we have to stay within the town bylaws. We can't really variate out of that because we set precedents.
And take some of those,
Yep.
oh, good, super.
thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Bye, Landon.
Should I second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Those are tough.
This is 26.
There's something else?
Yeah, just
Oh,
appointment.
What do you have?
well, there's two orders of
Two
extensions.
appointment.
8 Tailwind and 10 Tailwind.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Why are
never
you-
mind.
What are you looking at?
Looking at
You're looking
the,
in the
You're looking
packet.
at
And the-
last
the-
month?
the-
Why do
agenda.
I have the agenda for the
you're looking at the minutes.
We're in June.
You're looking at the minutes.
No, this is the
Yes.
agenda.
That's the
Look, May
minutes.
17th.
May 17th.
Agenda.
May
Right.
7th.
No. Not right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, I brought cupcakes for Dan, and, but we're all welcome to have some cupcakes if we would like.
Do you want me to just?
Trying to,
Just passing that.
All right, what do we got?
we just have 8 Tailwind and 10 Tailwind request an extension of OOC.
Are those all set too?
That's, yeah, and I got the forms ready. That's the Ron Nations, the airport property.
Oh, okay.
And that was, remember,
No.
the only thing I remember is with the work, they were in the buffer to the flood zone. So that's why it was bylaw only, it's not a state thing. And that's something we were talking about, trying to get that off the bylaw stuff, but how do you word it so you're not getting rid of the whole, so
Yeah.
these are still some of those dinosaurs that are alive.
How long are we extending? What is the
That's
request?
up, you got.
Do we
up
have a
to-
request?
Yes, she sent in their request, she's coming in tomorrow with the swap papers for the check.
When was it due?
No, I think they have July something.
Extended till
July,
September?
so there's 2 years.
This has been going on since 2012?
No, it's nothing new.
Yep.
How long do we extend these things?
Another, do we do another year? Did they request how long they want?
She said extension, so they are, just so you know, they are working on those houses now. I know there was one of them about removing the building, because that was the permit coming through. I'm trying to see, she sent me an email. Extension.
An email? Did you get a copy?
What's this here?
I just don't want to do another, I mean, I'm not John, but, 2012?
5 years?
It's like I'm dealing in the court.
He didn't start building until like a year ago.
July
So she
25th.
extended a year?
So July 25th would be when they.
When they expire?
2017 is when they expire.
Should we give them another year? Well, when was last extended?
They've been going,
I doubt we gave them 5 years in 2012.
no, this says, date the order was last extended 2 years, was extended 2 years from now, so 2015, so they must have got a 3 from 2012 to 2015, and
Two
then
more.
a 2 from 15 to 7. I say a year, and
I say
then,
give them a year.
and then come in here and let me know what's going on. That would be my,
Yeah, we can always let John deal with that.
yeah, well,
I make a motion to extend 8 Tailwind and 10 Tailwind Circle 1 more year, July 25th, 2018.
Second.
it would be July,
25th?
no, if we extended it 1 year, it'd be 1 year from our signing. so
I was gonna
it'd
say
be-
1 year for the expiration. Okay, I'll re-amend that.
Yeah, from the expiration.
Okay, so that the motion is to extend the order of conditions for 8 and 10 Tailwind Circle, 1 year from the expiration date, which will be July 25th, 2018.
Wait a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Yep. And then if you guys sign
These are
those.
mine. Do you want me to put in the 1 year? Because this says 2 year, because I have, these say have last 2 year extension, so I want to make sure that it doesn't go another 2 years.
Oh, yeah, no, see, the
So-
last time they got the 2 years.
Right,
'cause
so I
they
just want to
got
make sure. So you want me to put in July, what was the date?
10, yeah, July
There
25th,
you go.
2018.
7/25/18.
Okay.
This is general contract?
I do everything. I'm doing a barn right
What's it be?
now. No, just standard stuff.
People. Michelle, I'm not sure.
Between you and Dave and your signatures.
I'm not sure if it's last meeting.
That's all the business we have. Now we just have correspondence.
Yeah, minutes we can't do, we don't have enough people.
All right, thank you.
Are you here for a particular item on our agenda? Which one?
Well, I'm not sure if I'm actually on the agenda or not. My husband went down to town hall.
Wait, first if you could introduce yourself then.
My name is Dottie March.
You're supposed to be on the mic,
Come up
too.
and grab the mic and introduce
You can have a
yourself.
seat right here.
That's a mic.
Yep.
We'll get
Sorry,
yelled at
we're,
if
we're
you
being
don't.
videotaped.
You get the big chair.
Actually, we're live.
Oh, good Lord.
Wednesday night live from Norfolk.
Okay,
Say
well,
hi to Norfolk, please.
hello, Norfolk. So my name is Dottie March. My husband, well, not really married, but my significant other, Tom Bryant, went down to town hall a few days ago because we are in the process right now of purchasing 24 Lakeshore Drive.
Okay.
And,
Oh, yep,
oh, okay.
all right.
Been here.
So we,
Said I was very nice, right?
yes.
Okay, good. Phew. All right,
Yes,
yeah.
he did. He said you were
Carry
very
on.
helpful. Um, Which is why we came here tonight, because we had the drawings made up for the septic, because we're putting in a new septic. And we are wanting to build on like an extra bedroom to the side or the back or
Yeah.
wherever we can. But we obviously don't know what we're allowed to do, so we don't want to spend a lot of money with an architect just yet, if we can't do something. So I guess what I'm trying to find out is, what can I do? Can I do anything?
Did he check
How
with
would
the,
I go about finding all of that out?
okay.
Should have to get a lot plan, right? And find
I
out where
have that.
where the wetlands are,
I have it.
all the
Yep,
wetlands?
he was, when he came in, we get a lot of phone calls, sometimes you never see people, but, this is the one, and I had pictures of it's Lake Shore. We had the one before, 22 next door, that, remember the septic was way up by the road, because
Yeah,
flood zone.
yeah.
Yep.
This is the one to the left of that, the White House with the lattice work at the bottom. I had pictures of it from 2010 with the
Okay, I
water
vaguely
coming
remember
through.
it, yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, so, coming in, and, John Glosser, I think, should be coming in with the, you know, talking about the septic and getting it way up front, and this'll work with flood, whatever, but these people were hoping to,
He got that approved on the septic.
right, but it'll still have to come to conservation. Maybe Board of Health or whoever did Board of Health look at this and say it was okay?
Yeah, you have to go to the Board of Health and you make
I don't
sure.
know, I paid over $1,000 and was told it was okay. I mean, with all of the approvals and the
I think the
documents.
best thing to do with this is make a daytime visit to town hall, because then you can bounce from office to office and get everything that you need.
Sounds
all
like
the
you've gotten
information that you
the
need
Board
to.
of Health permits
Did you get a
for
permit yet from Board of Health?
$1,000?
No. Have you
What did you pay?
applied to the Board of Health for a septic permit yet? You have a septic design here?
I have the septic design.
Is that what you paid for?
We did that, plus, there were other fees that had to be paid for the approvals or the license or something. It was another, like, I don't know.
To
Yeah,
who?
there's a lot of steps, and I just don't want to tell you something that's not accurate, because I don't have all the information, and we can't during the meeting take all your information and dissect it and tell you which offices to go to. So I would take all your paperwork that you have, come to town hall. If your first stop wants to be in the conservation office, that's fine. We can
I'll go to
direct you
the, I
from
mean,
there.
Board of Health and
Um,
Conservation are in the same department.
Right, everybody's right here in this building.
Okay, but I'm starting to like just panic a little bit, because you're saying if the septic is even approved, I mean, we're gonna be buying this house in 2 weeks, and we've been led to believe we're okay, we're set to go.
okay, who owns the house now?
Chinese?
Okay.
They're from Mendon, but they don't live there.
Okay,
If he can,
do they get an approval for a new septic system? Do they do a Title V?
No, I did the Title V.
And that was, and it's got a stamp of approval from Board of Health?
From the town of Norfolk Board of
You
Health?
have
Why
that
did
with
do the
you?
Title V? What, there's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
if
There's a
but
lot
we-
of questions. A lot of things
we're not the
aren't
right board to see
clicking
first.
as to the normal process. So whatever you've got going on, my suggestion would be just come to the town hall during the day, and it might even be possible to get someone from the different offices that you need to look at it all at once and tell you where you need to go. Because normally, the seller's doing the Title V, and I don't know what you paid for and what you
No,
did.
the seller didn't do, that was part of the
Part of the-
agreement.
The buying agreement that you did
So
the
we
Title
did the
V?
Title V, we paid the permit, paid the fees, got the documents back. So I have all of that. Then we had all the drawings done. Got charged a whole bunch of money with fees and everything from the town.
Yep.
We were led to believe we were ready to go.
if I,
Maybe with whatever particular office you were dealing with that you wrote the checks to, you may be all set with them.
But they should
I
have
just don't
informed you
know.
that you needed to get on our agenda.
Yeah,
In order for us to review your stuff, you have to submit your paperwork to us well in advance, get on our agenda so we can study it. And then when you come to our board meeting, we know what you're talking about. And then we can give a ruling on whether it's in the wetlands or not.
The best I can do is offer you a suggestion to bring your paperwork to town hall during business hours, and I can put you on the agenda tonight for July
that's
12th.
Yeah, we can put you on,
It's supposed to close on June 30th.
Well, one doesn't have anything to do with the
Well,
other.
it does if I can't put a septic system in.
Michelle, if I might,
Yes,
though,
yeah,
please.
please.
because your husband or whoever that I was talking with, because his big thing was not only this, forgive me, not only this, but also there's the square house, and you people wanted to put additional room and a ramp on it, otherwise it doesn't work for you. So I thought but there's a lot to handle, but part of it was to go to the
Building permit, you can't do
building
until you own the house
department,
anyway.
because I'm not sure, like, if you do, how big is the addition, and where does that put you near the property line, because they have setbacks in that.
Right, so part of the reason for coming here, which now just got made even bigger, was to see if there was even a possibility to add on, because I don't want to pay an architect money for drawings if I can't add on, and instead maybe add up.
Well, that's a good question.
That's not for us.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not for us.
And do not let your anticipated closing date of 2 weeks from now straddle you into rushing this. Because if you want to have certain things in your house or you wouldn't purchase it, then make sure you can have those things first.
But I need to have the septic system.
I understand,
Before the 30th.
which is why I'm telling, that's not gonna, it has to get before our board. So, but that date,
Do you have a working septic system now? Or,
It failed.
Yeah.
oh,
so that needs to be,
oh, so you can't
Yeah.
pass?
So we called
pass
the
it here.
town and they said, well, you have, the realtor called the town too and said, well, you have, up to 2 years to have it replaced. And you can live in the house while you're having it replaced. And we said, well, we're buying it, so we're gonna do it as
It
part
failed the
of.
test or it failed function?
and your mortgage company, I don't know whether you have a mortgage or not, but they may not allow it either.
No, they did, Okay.
Is it
And I had
functioning?
the HUD guy down and everything, so
Yeah, so.
I got that part.
I mean, I would just make sure, if you need to move your closing, just tell everybody, we're gonna move the closing back so I can figure out what I'm doing.
Well, I will have no place to live
Then you don't wanna move the closing. So I would come down here tomorrow
tomorrow morning.
during business hours and see exactly what you have, and between everyone in all of the offices, they can, you'll get a checklist as to this needs to be, your septic needs to go before Board of Health, Conservation. I mean, I don't know what your plans are, but
I know what the
you
lot
can
line
then
is.
just go to those offices and get everything done, so I
So
would
the
set
engineer
aside
who
a few
did
hours.
this, Glasso,
Glossa, John
Glossa?
Glossa.
part of the whole agreement was that he was getting us the approval as part of this.
He might have gotten you the approval, but Board of Health approved it for septic only. They should have given you a checklist of said, now you have to go to conservation. They don't have that? I thought you guys had that before. Not anymore.
When people go for
In the
a,
future.
when people go for,
Now,
You will now.
wouldn't Gloucester guide her through that process?
It depends. If Gloucester's contract was to get you approved by the Board of Health, and then you're on your own, I did my job, then he's done.
when
If-
people
I
go
don't
for a
know.
building permit, if they're doing an addition or something, bird's eye
Then
view,
it's-
then we're listed on the checklist, but a lot of the stuff doesn't, depends what the work, you know, if it's stuff
if-
inside the house, it
If you
doesn't
come back tomorrow morning and start with the Board of Health, confirm with Betsy that, Betsy's in,
tomorrow
Should
at
be.
9.
that you're all set for the septic system for Board of Health, then you can say, okay, Janet, can we talk? And Janet can talk to you on the conservation issues, if there's any, as the existing structure.
Yep.
And then you'll move over to the building department and ask to see one of the building inspectors, and they could look at your plot plan and your house and what you're thinking of for a
Alteration, renovation.
alteration.
I don't even care about the alterations. I care about
You
the
just, you just want the
septic
septic
right now.
right now.
Well, you
So
should
you have
do-
to find
you
out if
should
the
do all
septic is
of- you
You
actually.
need, you should
see
just-
everybody.
That's a quick conversation,
everybody
because they'll
live.
say, you need to be 50 feet from the sideline, this and that, and
How big is the lot?
It's a little over an acre.
Okay. Do you know if you have wetlands around you?
I think
They're
there
on the
are
lake.
some, yeah.
They're
They're
okay,
on
get
the
the lake.
lake.
Where is the existing, septic now? Is it in front of the back of the house?
Cesspool, it's
in
right
the-
in front of the house.
Right in front of the front? So that's where the new one would most likely go, right?
No, it's going across and up and
Way up
over.
by the street.
Almost like across from where the people are next door. Like,
You know if that's out of the wetland?
Yeah, you still have the flood zone issues.
Yeah, so this will have to come, they'll have to come by it just for the flood zone.
I think it's in the-
Well,
Well, I don't know, I don't even wanna say that. So that is my
Yeah.
suggestion. Come in tomorrow, start at Board of Health, and ask them who you should see next. And then when you're done with that next person, ask them who you should see next. And you'll be able to just bounce around to all the offices in, I would say probably in 2 hours, would be my guess.
And after seeing everybody,
You're probably gonna wanna talk to Janet about getting on the agenda.
For July 12th. After your closing, but I mean, you should be able to close if, now, is this current, is this pool functional?
well, I mean, it
Well, they said the Board of
failed.
Health said it failed the
It
test.
failed its test, it failed inspection, doesn't meet the codes that it needs to meet,
Okay,
is what
So
they mean.
it's still functional.
because they said we could move in,
It's still functional.
right.
So you'll have, you have time to have that replaced and get on our agenda and go through all the processes that we might put you through.
But you're still saying there's a possibility, you could say, no, you can't put a new cesspool in here. And then we're stuck with
Well, you're not gonna be able to assess what you mean septic.
septic.
But you'll
sorry.
definitely be able to put one in somewhere.
Yeah, we'll work with you to find out,
I just don't know where.
yeah, we'll work with you and your engineer to get one in there. 'Cause there's a way to do it. There's gotta be.
Yeah, you will
Because
definitely
it's
be
an
able
existing
to
house and you,
transfer.
you
need a
need
septic.
So I
that.
can get a septic system.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
I just
Well,
don't know
you
if it's
made
the
me
one that's
think
in
I
your-
could-
No, no, no,
I
no,
just don't
no.
know if it's
Possibility
the
that-
one
We
that's
just,
in your plan.
we just can't
Oh.
review your stuff tonight, you know, on the
Okay.
agenda, and we don't know anything about your plan. So that's why you need to go to town hall, go through all the processes there, talk to people live as she suggested.
Okay. I
And
thought
then
that
talk with
that's what
Janet, get on the
Grasso
agenda for July 12th.
was doing, and had in fact done.
I would talk to your
based on the
engineer.
money we paid.
I would talk to your engineer.
You might wanna give him a call.
Yeah, you're gonna give him a call.
I would give him a call,
Oh, he'll be getting a call.
I'm sure he will.
But you have to apply to us, what, 2 weeks in? I mean, you have
Yeah,
to
we
get the
need at least,
plans.
we need, you have to have the information with.
So when I come in tomorrow, I will
Right, yeah.
do,
She'll make it.
But just
do whatever
understand you
needs to
can't
be
come in at the
done.
last minute and hand Janet all the paperwork.
Yes.
Because the boards
And you
need a
should
week or,
have-
Minimum.
2 weeks minimum.
He should be representing you
Like
at
you
this
gotta
board,
hand your
too.
packet in.
Okay, well, none of this has, obviously,
New to this game.
I'm a little shell-shocked right
No,
now.
don't worry about it.
Because
And
nobody said anything to,
Your engineer should be representing you at,
You're not the first, and with all the building that's going on, you are definitely not going to be the last.
No, not at all.
Don't feel that, I'm just trying to make
Don't
sure
feel
that you
intimidated.
get-
oh, no, no.
No,
Yeah, I'm
don't.
just trying to make sure that you get the correct things done so
Yeah.
that it doesn't come back to bite you.
Right,
Which is why I'm saying, if you're in town hall and someone says, oh, well, then you need to talk to that person, and they're just 10 steps away, it's pretty hard for two people 10 steps away to then point the finger at one another, because they're both there.
yeah.
So it's easier to just come in person and,
Get it done. But I would contact your engineer, because he's the one that should be representing you in this hearing, presenting his plan for the septic on your land, because he's the one that designed it.
yeah, because there are probably going to be.
Because we're gonna have technical questions, and you're not gonna be able to answer them. Unless you're,
Unless you do septic.
unless you're a septic engineer.
Based on all of this money, maybe I should be doing it.
They make good money, don't they?
Yes, they do.
That's a totally different topic, but that would be my suggestion. So I'm sorry that we can't help you
No,
any
well, you
further,
did help
but-
me. You did help me, so,
We'll give you, I mean, it's a process.
yes. And I understand that. I just thought
welcome to
that
Norfolk.
we were already. Well, okay, well, thank you very much.
If somebody
Okay.
Thank you,
passes
good
up
luck.
here,
Well, I'm sure we'll see you again.
Have it 9 o'clock, because Betsy usually comes and say 9. I'm
Like pina
earlier.
coladas.
You know, we'll check with Board of Health, we'll check with Building Department, everything, to get this rolling.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Okay.
Thank
have a good
you.
night,
Thank you.
Thank you.
good night.
What else do we do tonight without Dan and John?
Not much. I mean, there's
Adjourn.
correspondence.
Adjourn?
No, don't you dare. Please,
Oh, I wasn't gonna say that word.
if I may just.
All right, Janet, make it quick.
Janet, what do you got?
No, this, I know. You have handouts about the draft stuff or whatever else, right?
I read my emails.
Yeah, we read all this stuff.
Alright. This I'm not really handing to you because it just came in and so it's after the cutoff, but, I'm giving each one of you one of these.
Oh, excuse
They're gonna have their little opening for their new forge law.
Oh, okay.
You know, one of those things you can come in, they have the light desserts, I think it's just certain people being invited, which is nice.
June
Have you
26th,
seen it?
No, sir.
7 to 8:30. Won't be there.
Here's the thing, June 5th,
Oh,
okay.
can I bring Polly?
Why not?
I think you should.
It's for the kids.
Oh, I ain't
I
guess.
love it.
Come to the Duane, check, make sure it's okay.
Well, they always like that. This is really the
I don't know how much a copy, of a. open
Does it
space
anyway?
master plan costs. It sounds like whoever wants a copy.
A light dessert and sparkling water.
Sounds like that's a question for Ray.
You bring my son, he'll eat everything.
Huh?
I'll bring my son, he'll eat the whole thing.
That's where I would send
For
it.
light
Forest
dessert.
Pizza party.
He'll eat all of it.
Probably those.
Also, this is real quick, and I wanted to wait for Dan, but I do believe, didn't Dan say that he's not re-upping, right?
He's not re-upping. Was this his last night?
Yeah, that's,
What's that for?
It is a press release. The Norfolk Conservation Commission is seeking 2 full members. How many members are we down right now? 1, right?
We're down 1. We need, no, we're gonna be down 2 at Dan.
Yeah, is seeking 2 full members. These are volunteer positions. You must be a resident and you must be able to attend Conservation Commission meetings on the 2nd and sometimes 4th Wednesday of each month. Interested individuals should send a letter of interest to Amy with the info for Amy.
I think somebody had, and I don't know if maybe they should, to say on the second, usually scheduled second, but.
Well, we haven't had a second Wednesday meeting in over
No,
a year.
but I'm saying the second Wednesday.
I would leave it like that because
Yeah,
if
okay.
we're reorganized and shifting and who knows what's going on, even that second Wednesday could change. I mean, we've looked at that second Wednesday to move it to another day before as well.
We have.
No,
but-
no, no,
Yeah.
no, I know.
No, that it is the second Wednesday.
But as
saying
of right now, it's the second
The
Wednesday.
second Wednesday of the month.
Right,
Yes.
But what I'm saying is we've even looked, so right now it's the second Wednesday, but,
Okay,
you know,
okay. So right now, as is.
I would
okay,
say yes.
good.
Does anyone have any issue
No,
with
I
how
have,
it was?
no.
Okay, I think they were doing one for planning board, so then they were doing, it's like, no, we don't have associate members. And also, real quick,
You did
Why are you
once.
cringing?
no, because this person, just to make sure, because I was doing this letter up and Amy, I'm sorry, give you copies. Amy was saying, I had her check it and she said it was confusing that he was in for, about the wall,
Mm-hmm.
and that the wall was taken care of. That's why the minutes were good that we didn't accept. And that he would have to deal with the stone down on the beach. Now, is the stone on the beach?
Oh, you weren't here for that.
No, but I can, but
Well, he came in,
she's been told that this letter is confusing, so I'm just reading it and it doesn't seem confusing to me. So I think that's the
Well, I think the
question.
punchline is, because the thing with doing the retaining wall, and he's moving it back and it's got.
moving it back 10
the-
feet.
But that's still okay
Within the
under
disturbance
the order
area.
of conditions that he has.
Yes.
So.
We're concerning about the rocks on the beach.
So that, if he wants to do that, that's amending the order of conditions.
Yes, it is.
Okay. I just wanted to.
That was the point of contention in the other meeting.
Who wrote the letter?
I did.
Oh,
Do the bullet points
I
meet?
was checking with Amy. and
What was
she's like,
discussed at the
"This
last
is
meeting?"
not understanding."
Sorry.
So, Mr. Larry Florian was in yesterday, and I showed it to him. I said, it's on hold because I'm checking with
Yeah,
everybody.
exactly.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't say what the changes were, but it says
But it
he has to list the changes.
Yeah.
And same thing, that's, so I gave him a copy, so he had. And
I
then
don't see
got
nothing
it to him.
confusing about this at all.
Okay, I just,
So you're asking for a new plan to show the changes that he's made so far?
Yeah, an amendment to the other plan. And
Because he's
basically,
changed a couple things, right?
yeah.
he changed the wall, which is
In the deck,
we moved the house.
remove the
he
house,
moved the house,
different deck, and then the wall.
and then the rocks on the beach.
Yeah, I remember.
Well, he wanted to do that,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I think that was a big point. If he kept his mouth shut about that, I think it would have been fine.
Will, because it says is responsible, and then it says Amy. So I would just put will put,
Okay.
and then here I
okay.
just make that a
But,
bullet point.
that
just so
was a
he-
big thing.
I understand.
Just for our
Okay.
reference when we were looking down it real quick, but other than that.
Okay. Oh, super. No,
I
okay.
He wanted to put that aggregate rock, right?
You can't do that.
No.
Can't even walk.
I don't see anything confusing about this at all.
Okay.
No.
I just hopefully want to wrap this up. And then I think the others was just FYI, copies of correspondence that I think that was emailed, the ones that are mentioned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
I looked at
correspondence.
all of them, yeah.
Yeah, so no, just FYI that people have them. And again, that's based, and we're all set, right, with our next July 12th
For
meeting?
July 12th, and we can't do our new business because no one's here.
Oh, and then reorganization, Mr. Weddleton was hoping people would get to that, even if he's not here, and if Michelle wants to be the, so I'm just,
We're gonna kick the can on that one.
Yeah, I think we should wait
Yeah.
until he's here.
good evening.
How you doing?
Okay, can we help you?
Yeah, my wife just got here. She just left about
Oh.
25 Myrtle Street.
Okay.
So I'm
No,
just
oh,
looking,
25 Myrtle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The fence people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
so I'm just
Sorry.
looking for information that you gave her because she's too upset to relate it back to me.
Sure.
Okay, basically the fence was built within the buffer zone, the 50-foot buffer zone, without our knowledge.
Okay.
And we're asking her to come back with a plan to possibly move that fence behind the 50-foot buffer zone.
Anything that's in the 0 to 50-foot buffer zone cannot be touched, so it can't be, oh, we're getting yelled at.
Yeah, we need a microphone.
I don't want
No, you have to.
You have to.
You're not on the agenda and you just popped in, you have to do this.
So this is the line here,
so even though I own everything,
Doesn't matter.
What you, right, you own a 0 to 50-foot buffer line, so that 0 to 50-foot buffer, nothing can be touched in there. You can't have equipment back there, you can't have a fence back there, you can't have equipment to get a fence back there, you can't put a
You can't
kid's swimming
recreate.
pool back there, you can't, nothing can go back there.
No disturbance.
What those are?
The builder.
Okay.
So the builder had this was part of his ruling to do his septic building. So this was whatever, it's different times. So you have literally have to go around the whole property. So
Yeah.
erosion during construction. This buffer down here is this is the actual wet.
Okay. We didn't put the fence up till after the septic was done. So how did you guys know about the fence?
We inspected the septic.
Yeah, but the septic was already done by the time the fence was up. So you
Right,
guys,
but he wanted his final paperwork.
He wanted his final paperwork when he sold the house.
Certificate of
So the
compliance.
builder needed a certificate of compliance, which he didn't get done.
well, he got it done before, which was on a Friday, because they came to the town and rushed it. And he said we had to pull a couple strings to get it done.
Right, well, I don't think we want to debate
When that happened, it happened,
when
and that's the way it
anything
is.
happened or how we knew, but things come to our attention, and when they come to our attention, we do need to address them.
So was
And
this concurrent because we raised eyebrows about how the house was,
You need to speak in that microphone?
was it because we came to the town because they never pulled permits for anything in the house? So we came and raised red flags about that. And then we got a letter about the fence after that,
No.
directly
one
after
has
that.
nothing to do.
We never
with-
knew about the permits for the
Never knew anything
house.
about-
Never
We
knew
don't, we
anything.
don't deal with building permits or any kind of permits
That
within the
never
home.
comes before us. We wouldn't
Yeah,
know that or not know that.
The, Jason Testa had come too, that's when we were upstairs in that
Yep.
little room. I don't like the little room, but for his final paperwork.
This
and-
was after the house was sold.
Right, because we couldn't do a full, normally the people can get a partial, yes, you did this, but you still need to do this.
Do you have a
But-
timeline on everything?
If I may, you're asking if it was retaliation. It's not retaliation. It's simply because there's a fence and a 0 to the 50-foot buffer zone. So what I suggested was, or what the board suggested, was to come back to us with a fence plan that's not in the 0 to 50.
So we have to take the fence down,
It has to come down.
but we can't afford to take the fence down.
Not the whole fence, just the back of it, move it
Yeah,
up.
we can't afford that. We don't have that kind of money. We're a blue-collar family that moved from Brockton, where we put all our money into this house, and we
Well,
had to pay a lawyer.
I took a fence down on my property when I was 7 months pregnant by myself, so,
But the
I mean, I know
post-
it can come down.
But we still have to hire someone to put it back up. And we have a dog that we have to let out, where there's wildlife out there.
I understand.
It's
I
really,
understand.
it's,
We can't
and all
afford,
those things are compelling, but it's really not
I
our concern.
understand that, but we can't afford it.
I understand.
I-
But
The
to
bylaws
that
are the
point,
bylaws.
to that point, I also made a suggestion that she may want to call off the hydro seeding because that may lead to more issues. So
Especially in that area.
0 to 50 buffer zone can't be touched. So you wanted a reiteration of what had gone on, was that inside of when you did your closing, you had a title search done. Inside of that title search should have been the order of conditions. So
You should have
you
been
were
aware.
notified directly or indirectly that your property that you were buying was within wetlands and did have buffer zones.
No, we just got this.
No, I understand, but when you did your property, there was a title done. So
What do you mean a title? I'm
a
sorry.
title search. So my suggestion to you as well would be call the attorney that did your closing.
It was Jay Testa.
Get a copy of that title search.
No, we have the title, and it just has the
Yeah.
square
No,
that
a
you
title
no,
got.
no.
search
The
goes
title
to the
search.
town and finds out if there's any order of conditions outstanding on the home.
It lists everything that's done on your property. So you will know if there is anything outstanding that the builder did. You will know any order of conditions. You will know any restrictions on your property. It is all on that title
So
search.
if it's not on the title search that we got at the closing, and all we have is just the square, then what?
I'm not saying that you got the title search. I'm saying you can request a copy of the title search. And it doesn't have anything to do with whether or not you got certain paperwork at the closing. you own a piece of property that is on a wetland and also has partial within a 0 to 50.
So if we didn't know that there was a wetland, how are we supposed to know?
We're telling you.
Now, after we put up the fence.
We're telling you, you were supposed to know before you purchased the property.
You should have known that coming into the house buying it.
Yes, you should have done the due diligence on that piece of property to know that you were buying a piece of property with wetlands. So when you buy your piece of property, you have your survey, you can have people come and survey, you can look at the area, you can look at the town, you can figure out if it's septic, where your boundaries are, is there anything encroaching, what's my buffer zone, there's lots of things to look at when you're purchasing a
I mean,
property.
I moved from the
so-
city as well, and I was made aware that I own an acre of land. I can only live on 40% of that land because 60% is within the 50-foot buffer zone. I can't do anything in that 60%. I wasn't happy about it, but I was made aware of it before I signed my name.
Okay, so we weren't aware of that.
But it was your.
No, I understand that. Do
Right.
you have a timeline of everything that happened?
I don't have a timeline of anything in any other department or what happened.
So no, what I'm saying is when they came to inspect the final inspection, do you have a timeline, that date?
It's what,
That would be me,
Yeah.
when I went
But it's
and
in the
got
minutes.
the
Yeah,
pictures.
we would have
I'm
in
sure
your
Janet could get
file.
you the date of the
no,
final.
we can't get to the date of the final inspection of the
I'd just
septic.
like a date of everything, of A to Z.
Okay, you come in and see Janet in the morning, and she can give you a date of that.
And then you can bounce around
Nevertheless,
to any other
the fence
department.
is still not in the correct zone, and
So
it has
if
to be moved.
We can't afford to take down the fence, and I'm a 100% disabled veteran, so I'm not gonna be able to take down the fence myself. That's just not gonna happen. And she obviously is not gonna take down a fence when she has a baby to watch. That's a newborn. And we can't afford to take down the fence because we don't have that kind of money. So then what do we do?
There's,
I think if your stance is going to be that you are not going to take down the fence and you're
We just don't
gonna,
have the capability.
okay,
Then what are we gonna do?
then we'll have to discuss what our next step is going to be.
With the,
But I'm going to tell you that you probably shouldn't hydro seed.
okay, so we won't hydro
And
seed at all, but.
I don't know what the next step is yet. We haven't discussed it. So if you're going to, please do me the favor of, if you're going to refuse to take down the fence, just jot something down to us. Conservation Commission, sorry, we heard you, we're not gonna do it. And then we'll be able to take our next step.
Well, I'm not saying that we're not gonna do it, I'm just saying that we don't have the financial or the capability to do it.
State that in your letter.
Right. I can't tell you what a next step would be until I have a step
So
from
if I
you.
give you that paper, then what would the next step be?
We don't know.
discuss
We'll
it.
have to decide on it, and we might have to refer it to the legal department of the town, and the town might take legal steps against you.
I don't know, we're gonna have to discuss it.
We don't know that.
Okay, so if you guys take legal steps away, then,
Well, it won't be us, it'll be the town.
I
I mean,
don't,
if you guys are gonna sue us, there's nothing you guys can take from us, because we don't have anything.
I don't,
Again, we're not the judge or the jury here. We're a volunteer citizens committee enforcing bylaws of the town.
I understand that.
I don't know the next step, but if you give us a conclusion of what you would like to do, then we can make a next step. But right now, I'm just letting you know that,
Is it possibly the town could pay for it to take the fence
I
down?
doubt it, and the town will not do that.
I am 99.
I'll talk to you afterwards, because there are other ways that people that might be able to help you get your fence moved.
Okay.
I mean, there are other, I don't know what options are out there, but you can explore options. But we don't make that decision of what kind of levies are placed against citizens that don't comply with the bylaws.
Well, it's not complying, it's just that you're making it sound like we're evil.
No, you're not evil, you're not
It's
evil.
that word is a bad perception based on our character, is that we're.
Well,
we're
when,
totally
you're not evil, I
disregarding.
mean, if you speed, you're not complying with the speed limit, it doesn't make you an evil person, you're just not complying with the set speed limit. You were unaware of the bylaws of the town, because when you bought the house, someone didn't make you aware that you're on wetlands on your property, and that you cannot do any disturbance on that. It happens.
And the builder went through the same thing. I mean, he did.
I mean, the gentleman who sold you the house, he bought that house to flip it.
Yeah,
And he wasn't aware of the wetlands either. And we went through this with him when he had his design.
Right, and we don't have anything
had to
do
move
with
his design.
permits. So the only thing that I can say is that 0 to 50 buffer zone is a no-touch zone. That's just the simplest way to put it. So
And if
my
we-
suggestion would be to come back with a plan of, we'd like to put the fence here. And I believe that we did. We put you on the agenda for July 12th. If you don't want to have that, that's fine, just let us know. If you want to keep it to discuss something further with us, show us something else, show us where you'd like to have a fence, that's fine too. Just let us know one way or the other what you would like to do.
But we want to comply, but like I said, financial restraints.
Right, so you might want to, take a few days and figure out your options.
Well, we don't, you guys.
Well,
may
David
tell
said
us
that he may have
Yeah, that's
some suggestions for you, so you can
We can
definitely talk
discuss
to him
that
after the
meetings,
meeting.
and maybe something will come up your way, and by the time July 12th comes, you'll have a viable option to financially do that on your own. But as long as you come with a plan to us on that day that's like, our intent is to move this fence, and you have that on a plan, then we can discuss what further steps can happen after that, so to speak. But we have to go by the book. We can't allow one person to do that, because we'll set a precedent, and then everybody who's in your situation will expect the same treatment, and then the bylaws are just pieces of paper that no one
And
follows
these
anymore.
rulings come down from the EPA, and then the town
mean, you're a veteran, you know.
accepts it, and so it's,
Rule, I mean,
It's really
wetlands
a
are
no-go.
wetlands.
it's out of our hands, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't violate
They're
the,
just
we
here to
can't violate the
enforce.
bylaws we swore to uphold.
Yeah, say, Bosco, I can talk to you now because.
Well, let's close the meeting,
Give us
please.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
give us
close
a
the
few
meeting
minutes
right
to
away.
close the meeting, 'cause we're finishing up, and then absolutely.
Janet, do you have anything else?
No, I think, and we're talking, so July 12th,
Yep.
good enough. No, just to use as
Yeah,
a
we have
working.
our, we have our July 12th at 7.
Super, okay.
Unless you want to move that. Are you able to be here if we do it at 8
What's a better time for
or at
you?
8:15?
Probably 9.
Are you here at 8:15 now, where I can't guarantee you we're going to be here.
I left work early.
Could you possibly do that again? Because if we have nothing else on the agenda, we meet at 7, we're sitting here for 2 hours waiting for you.
Well, honestly, I don't know. I'll tell you my job after.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's kind of.
Well, if we get
Understood.
something in writing ahead of time, at least 2 days before, so it can go on the agenda, letter, plan received from blah, blah, so at
That
least
needs
we
to be
have
published.
something.
All right, let's keep it where it is for right now. We can absolutely move it. Let's conclude our hearing. You can talk to David. We don't need to move it tonight. Just let us know.
We can move it. But
We can-
it's,
we're
it's
not
just that we have
setting-
nothing else on the agenda, we can't put you on the back end of it. You're the only thing on the agenda that night, and again, we're citizen volunteers, so.
All right, so Janet, do we have anything else that needs to be addressed
Nope,
today?
I think we're good. Thank you.
I move
Okay.
to close the meeting,
I
adjourn the
second.
meeting.
Do we have a second? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.